are simply stunning. And it's breathtaking scenery like this that fuels our desire to live in a spectacular home by the sea.
We're lucky enough to be surrounded by a diverse and dazzling coastline. It's no wonder that the British seaside holds such allure.
I'm Charlie Luxton, and over the past 2 summers, I've been fortunate to experience some of Britain's best coastal homes.
I'm on a quest to find even more wonderful buildings in wondrous locations along Britain's sparkling shoreline.
In this series, I'll open the door of exquisite homes that combine fabulous interior design.
This is lovely, isn't it? Amazing furniture.
With breathtaking views.
It might be a little house, but that is a big view.
And cross paths with people lucky enough to call our epic coast home.
That's a thing of wonder. I mean, it's like a giant stone snake sort of lying in the landscape.
This week I'm in Sussex, a county full of genteel beauty, with one of the most epic shorelines in the whole of Britain, where angular homes of glass create widescreen seaside vistas. Big is beautiful as modern mansions tower over magnificent beaches.
Everything on this house is on a slightly sort of heroic scale, isn't it?
It is spectacular.
And quaint coastguard cottages reveal perfect panoramas.
Wow, wow, wow. Look at this.
With its warm climate, outstanding natural beauty, and some of the best seaside architecture anywhere in Britain, Sussex has always been a sunseeker's dream.
This is a stretch of coast with a little bit of everything, from Britain's highest chalk sea cliffs to amazing beaches and sumptuous historic resort towns.
Facing the English Channel and France, the Sussex coast stretches for 77 miles from Rye in the east to Chichester in the west.
Sussex has an incredibly rich mix of buildings. It's been prosperous for centuries, and there's a real tradition of cutting-edge architecture which dates from the Romans right up till today. And I'm really looking forward to exploring buildings both old and new.
Sussex was one of the birthplaces of the classic British holiday resort, and I'm heading for Eastbourne, amongst its finest and best preserved examples. Bringing me ashore is this elegant powerboat, which can cut through the water at a pulse racing 27 knots. With 5 linked harbours to choose from, the town's 800-berth marina is one of the biggest in the country, and a great stepping-off point for my tour. Midway along the Sussex coastline, Eastbourne is a bustling tourist hotspot, close to the county's southern tip.
Eastbourne rose to prominence for 2 main reasons. The first was the coming of the railways in 1849, and the second was the vision of a man called William Cavendish, the 7th Duke of Devonshire. He immediately saw the potential of this stretch of coast, its proximity to London, and this new mass transportation. So he set around designing and building a purpose-made resort. Eastbourne is the result of that.
And the evidence of Cavendish's great vision is still around us, including that hallmark of early seaside hedonism, the pier.
It's interesting that actually when you get out into the pier, you start to understand quite what a grand place this is. You get this massive, grand building here, sort of Roman inspiration, draped with classical columns. Over here, you've got these beautiful bow-fronted villas with these lovely fine canopies and wrought ironwork. And then over here, you've got something that's a little bit French. And you can see there's a playfulness here. This was a great big experiment. and it redefined the way in which we see the seaside.
You have to go a long way to find ambitious buildings such as these. But the first home on my Sussex itinerary is striving to make its own massive mark on this fantastic stretch of coastline. From Eastbourne, I'm going west to Aldwick, a wealthy suburb on the edge of Bognor Regis. Everything about the magnificent beachside location of Craigwell House is tailored to impress. With 6 bedrooms, 3 floors and gardens laid out like a mini Versailles, it demands to be noticed. But perhaps it's the sheer beauty of its setting which strikes you most of all. Reflecting the pastel colours of the sky above, this supersized mix of stone, steel and white render is the result of a 6-year mission by Surinder Dancer to design and build his own landmark seaside home.
Hello, Surinder. How are you?
Charlie, how are you?
Very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
You've got a big house.
Come in. Let me show you around.
I'd love to have a look.
Inside, it's a home of superlatives too. Looking to create the perfect setting for his big family gatherings, this huge entrance hall with double-height atrium sets the tone for an interior of epic proportions.
It's a very impressive hallway, isn't it?
It is spectacular.
Amazing sense of space. And then this staircase, this is very sculptural, isn't it?
Yes, very architectural.
So the double height space continues through into here. How do you change a light bulb with dust?
We don't.
Just don't go wrong.
Just don't go wrong.
So then this is a bit more of a sort of an intimate sitting area.
Yes, I mean, this area can be enclosed and it can be made a little bit more...
Shut down, light the fire.
Yeah.
In winter, storm against the window.
And brandy, perfect.
Sounds good.
Surinder was drawn to the Sussex coast by its vast stretches of unbroken shoreline. A wealthy entrepreneur with interests across the globe, he chose here as the perfect place for him and his extended family to appreciate its splendour.
Why did you build it?
Well, I saw this location and it needed something rather special built on here. So it was my opportunity to build a nice house in a beautiful location.
Architecturally, that's a really nice piece of framing. The way that sort of sits and the level of the sea in frame is thirds almost, isn't it? I think that's why
it's been adjusted, so that's why all the living space is on this level. The idea was that once you're sitting down, you get a view of the sea.
With a passion for entertaining, Surinder has created a dining room that's more banqueting hall where guests are hosted in lavish style. Warm, rich tones of walnut are used for floors and doors, while the walls depict oriental cherry blossom trees on exquisite hand-painted silk. In the kitchen, there's not just one island, but 2.
So not only have you got an archipelago of islands, you seem to have a phalanx of ovens.
Phalanx, that's an interesting word. Yes, I mean, they all obviously have a purpose. I mean, if you were having a big function, then you need a massive oven for the turkey or whatever that needs to go in. So, so it's designed to...
For different uses.
Different uses.
So, I mean, you like the idea of lots of people coming down?
Yes, I mean, we're all quite gregarious people generally, and I have a quite large extended family, and they love coming down. And why wouldn't anybody want to come down to the coast and be looked after here?
The plot was the site of an old nursing home. Surinder started work on his designs in 2009, and its huge private beach frontage gave him the space and solitude to realise his grand vision.
I've been fortunate enough to take this thing from a blank sheet of paper to design a bespoke house. I mean, not many people get an opportunity to do something like that, and I did, so I'm very lucky and privileged to be able to do that. So I built a house which is just exactly what I need, and it has all the toys that I want in it.
A TV which appears as if by magic from the kitchen worktops.
Whoa!
Is a mere appetizer for the more substantial treats Surinder has given himself in every floor of this monumental home. A lift.
Brilliant, thank you. Leather floor.
Doors closing.
Takes you to a private cinema. While a gym and magnificent 18-metre swimming pool help keep both Surinder and guests on their toes.
That's a nice pool. Well, that's a proper length, isn't it? You could do some lengths in here.
Oh, you certainly could.
And then you've got a hot tub.
A sauna,
Yeah.
steam room, and changing rooms.
It's amazing, isn't it? It's the kind of thing you'd find in a nice spa.
It's lovely down here, but I'm dying to get back to the view. So quickly stopping off at the bar. Yes, he has one of those too.
Cheers.
We head out onto the terrace.
Everything on this house is on a slightly sort of heroic scale, isn't it? I mean, even your skylight sort of takes the idea of a skylight and makes it into a football pitch.
It's lovely, and it gets a great deal of light downstairs
Does it?
into the pool area.
I know this has been something of a labour of love for you, 5 years in the planning, 3 years on site, but how do you feel standing here now with a finished project?
Overwhelmed and humble and very blessed. Sometimes when you sit here in the evenings and you see the waves cascading and the shingle cascading down the beach, it is just spectacular.
And what about when you have the family down and you have the party going on and doors are open, sun's shining? That must be a wonderful experience.
It is. If you build beautiful places, you get people to come down and enjoy them with you, and it's sharing that's the biggest issue, and that makes it very enjoyable.
Daring to think big, Surinder has followed Cavendish's lead and fashioned his own extravagant monument to the endless beauty of this stretch of coast. It's been a superb way to begin my journey. Later, I'll be heading to a former coastguard's house, where scanning beautiful horizons was once a way of life.
This is an extraordinary view. That is stunning.
And meeting the kite-surfing family, whose new home is a soaring success.
What was your brief to the architect?
We want a house of character, quality, that makes the most of the beach location.
I'm on England's south coast, hunting down exciting seaside homes on Sussex's spectacular shoreline. It's a place of elegant seaside resorts and relaxed beaches which draw crowds from far and wide. So far, I've visited a beautiful contemporary mansion right on the beach, close to Bognor Regis. But now I'm heading along the coast to the tourist attraction of Cuckmere Haven. With its soaring chalk face, this stretch of heritage coast is almost 8 miles long and one of the most picturesque anywhere in Britain, but also among its most vulnerable. And that includes the next extraordinary house on my tour. Part of a small cluster of isolated coastguard cottages at the mouth of the Cuckmere estuary, its awesome location gives unparalleled views of the landmark Seven Sisters Cliffs, a series of 7 undulating chalk peaks rolling gracefully into the distance. Nearly 2 centuries ago, the building was at the forefront of the fight against smuggling. Now it's facing its own battle to survive the encroaching sea. And I've come to meet owner Carolyn McCourt, daughter Lee Chen and their dachshund Greta to enjoy the cottage while I still can.
Well, this one was built in 1818, the
Okay.
officer's house.
So this is a posh one.
Oh, I don't know about posh, but it was the first.
And also closest to the action, I suppose, as
Closest
well.
to the action, that's right.
Being an officer, he bagged the best view. Though to get there, you have to go via the scenic route.
Oh, I like the garden, the little allotment.
It's a little wilder than it
No,
should
it's
be.
a proper
but
quaint cottage garden. I think it's wonderful.
From the simple beauty of wildflowers, you then encounter another wondrous natural landscape that's off the scale.
Wow, wow, wow. Look at this. This is an extraordinary view. Look at that. That is absolutely stunning. This is an amazing spot, isn't it?
it is.
How did you find it 27 years ago?
I came down on the beach one night. I mean, I walked here a lot. There was a gentleman with his young daughter, and we got talking, and he just said the house next to me is for sale. And I just walked through the front door and I had this voice in my head saying, this is my home, this is my home. And 12 days later, I bought it.
That's beautiful. I love this little kind of hodgepodge collection of sort of additions and glass houses and then really wonderfully proportioned little building. I'm noticing there's lots of found objects and huge bits of rope and bits of sculptural wood. Most of it was sort of like stuff you found on the beach.
Yes, we'd often go for walks and Mum would see this piece of wood and say, oh, Chen, can we carry it up together? Like, oh, okay, not knowing how heavy it actually was. Just carrying it
A
up.
10-foot plank of wet oak is quite a weight.
Yeah, good commitment.
Perfectly positioned in the middle of a vast stretch of beautiful but relatively inaccessible coast, the cottage was used for spying on smugglers until 1929, when it was decommissioned and sold. Now the vibe's much more chilled, with plenty of spaces for enjoying the sun. It's as perfect an example of a seaside cottage as you're likely to find, full of quirky charms.
I bet this is a lovely place to have breakfast. With a view, amazing.
It is. And even in the winter, it warms up so quickly.
It's a lovely cool and lovely quality of light in here. Beautiful textures absolutely everywhere. It's amazing.
Inside, Carolyn's background in art has been put to good use, blending a mix of found, handmade and antique objects to create a home full of bohemian chic.
Looking around, it almost feels like this house is sort of an extension of your mind.
Oh my God, cobwebs and mottled wood.
No, but
rotted wood.
everywhere you look, there's a little thought and a little kind of, little collections. Beautiful things, just sort of thoughts and pictures and, in the way that every house is, but this one just feels incredibly well embroidered.
It's deeply pleasurable to have a relationship with one's house and, colour and surface and texture and this glorious openness.
Stuck out on their own, the cottagers have no mains electricity, a fact of life which sparks some old world charm.
I'm not noticing many lights. What's going on with that?
We live by candlelight.
Everything is with candle.
Yeah. My mum's lived like that for 27 years and I've lived like that since I came here.
That's an extraordinary thing.
Yeah, most of my friends are like, what? You live by candlelight? Yeah, I do.
I think there is a real tendency to overlight everything, so I imagine you get beautiful quality of light, don't you?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right, and darkness has its own beauty as well.
For a tiny cottage with just 2 bedrooms, this seaside home packs a truly incredible punch. And perhaps the biggest knockout is the writing room, where the coastguards used to sit and scan the sea.
This view is incredible. So you've got like the view of the Seven Sisters that way, the little kind of friendly cliff this way, and then just pure sea that way. It's like a beautiful triptych. Do you get any work done sat here?
More work than you could imagine.
Really?
Yeah, I do schoolwork.
Do your essays?
Yeah, my essays.
I bet they're very sort of fluid and expansive when you're sat here, kind of taking in this view.
Yeah.
That's definitely got to be one of the best places to work in Britain. That is amazing.
The But the stunning location which makes this house so unique is threatening its very existence. On our way down to the beach, Carolyn and Lee Chen tell me this area has been abandoned to the elements as part of the government's coastal retreat programme. Unless the residents fund the sea defences themselves, the cottages will eventually crumble.
They're trying to save this little section of land here to protect the old coastguard cottages and that view and that stunning sort of location.
Yeah, and magical. I mean, you look at those cottages against the cliffs.
It's pretty
it kind
special.
Of raises your spirits.
It's pretty special, and they've been.
You don't
here
even
for...
have to live there for that to happen. It just happens.
You know, I wish you the best of luck with that, because I have to say, it's got to be one of the best houses I've visited. It is such an epic location. It's incredible.
There's an awesome grandeur to this landscape that some may take for granted. But as Carolyn knows, it's a fragile beauty and a great example of how the sea throws up countless challenges to those who choose to live along our shores. For the next house on my journey, I'm heading 20 miles west, away from the solitude of Cuckmere to the bustling seaside town of Shoreham.
Now, while most of the beaches around here are pebble and shingle rather than sand, they do have the benefit of having lots of houses right along the beachfront. And the family I'm off to see now know how to make the most of that wonderful location.
Rapidly developed over the past 50 years, this stretch of coastline is a fascinating showcase for one-off designs. And it's that freedom to express themselves which drew Catherine and Adash Nicholson to create their own extraordinary addition.
It's a very interesting bit of development, this, isn't it? I mean, every house is completely different.
Yeah, I think it's got a long history of people coming here and building their own place. As you can see, everyone's had their own take on it.
Yeah, that's the character of the place. You know, you can walk along here and look at the houses, and everyone, I'm sure, has got their favourites.
The couple were both living in London, but Adash's job as an airline pilot meant he could live almost anywhere. And his passion for Shoreham's excellent kite surfing persuaded them to start a new life by the sea.
There was a house up for sale along here, and I thought we'd give it a go, see if we put in an offer. After much haggling and to-do, we moved in there about 8 years ago, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So you bought one of these little kind of unusual sort of bungalows?
Yeah, so it was a 50s bungalow, still a 50s decor inside, and we just gave it a clean and lived in it for 6 years and saved like mad. And then we did our big transformation.
So you knocked it down,
We knocked it down
and rebuilt.
Anchoring itself firmly in the pebble beach, this newly created family home is a classy addition to the ever-changing lineup on Shoreham's seafront parade.
So what was your brief to the architects?
We want a house of character, quality, and that's just going to give us family living that makes the most of the beach location.
Later, I get blown away by Catherine and Adash's widescreen wonder.
That's nice. That is phenomenal.
And I'll be meeting the woman whose steely determination is boosting the Sussex shoreline with stunning new designs.
We regenerate towns, we regenerate cities. Why should we not regenerate the seaside?
I'm on the dazzling Sussex shoreline, a beautiful stretch of coast with some amazing houses. I'm currently in Shoreham, an area with an eclectic mix of seafront properties. Among the newest and most striking is this stunning home built by airline pilot Adash Nicholson and his wife, Catherine. Inspired by the very coastal landscape it sits in.
So it's nice, isn't it, with this pebbly lower course?
Yep.
The idea is that the pebbles kind of rise from the beach, the house grows from the beach, and every element of the building is kind of reflected in the surroundings. After the pebbles on the beach, you've got the glass, which is reflecting the sea and the sky.
And then there's the driftwood right at the top.
So the timber element. So everything that you've kind of referenced is coming very much from its context.
Yeah.
That's the idea, yeah.
We should go look at what you've built.
Yeah.
I'd like to see inside. I'm intrigued.
Designed as an upside-down house, the 4 bedrooms are hunkered down behind the gabion wall of pebbles. While in the main open-plan living area, that huge wall of glass provides an almost cinematic view of what's outside.
That's nice. That is phenomenal. Just that little bit up. And the way you do get that wonderful view right down the coast and all the way up to Brighton.
It's a fantastic view. I mean, we don't have a telly here. We have it around in the other room, but you know, you can just sit here for hours and
Watch the world, watch the kind of, yeah. I've just noticed that this window is slightly on an angle, isn't it? It kicks out off the main floor
so
plan.
we're hanging over the garden at the very edge,
yeah, it's a little
just
bit
to
of
try and get the 3-sided glass in, but also that feeling of being almost on the beach, being able to walk right up.
A micro-cement, concrete-style floor sets the tone for a stripped-back, minimal interior that includes a very Dutch-like absence of curtains.
What about privacy? Because people are walking past on the boardwalk and they're a bit far away, but do you ever feel a little overlooked?
Yeah, I don't think you could live here if you were a recluse. I don't think you'd build a house like this. So yeah, we definitely do see people. We see lots of people we know, so it's quite a close community. We're always waving at people.
Come in for coffee.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, coffee, yes.
Yeah, we do. Or if you're not quite feeling up for it, you just be very engrossed in your book.
With their stunning new home as a base,
Good? Okay, yeah, we're good.
Adash and Catherine have been able to put the beach at the heart of family life.
Hard. That's it, yeah.
With a passion for all that it offers, now being passed on to children Orla and Solomon.
Loop the loop, here we go. Oh, okay.
It's an amazing place to be, that you can come home from work, get on a wetsuit, blow up a kite and come play on the beach. That's very unusual.
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, and that feeling of freedom when you come home after slogging it out in the office and you come home and have a play. That is a special feeling.
Well, I think it's lovely. I can see why you're here.
Oh, we're incredibly lucky.
Yeah.
We love it here.
With a grandstand view of one of the most sought-after adventure playgrounds in the country, Catherine and Adash's patient approach to self-building has reaped rich rewards. But there is an easier solution. If you fancy finding somewhere to move into straight away, there's plenty on offer on the Sussex coastline. This modern take on Art Deco in the seafront village of Ferring includes a 2-bed luxury penthouse apartment. Designed around open-plan living, it's handily placed for both Brighton and Gatwick Airport. But with its own sun terrace giving panoramic views, you probably won't need to go any further. But at £895,000, this seaside staycation doesn't come cheap. Seaford once offered rich pickings for French pirates, and there's still plenty of treasure here, including this half-timbered 4-bed detached family home. Built in the 1930s, Byberry Cottage has 2 reception rooms, a conservatory and a study. To bring home this booty, you'll need at least 475,000 gold coins. Named after a beautiful blossoming tree, this timber-clad mansion near Bognor Regis looks the ideal place to put down some roots. Tamarisk comes with 5 bedrooms, a luxury kitchen and lounge, and a private seafront garden so close to the water you can watch the waves lapping at its edges. If you feel like branching out here, you'll need more than £1.5 million. Blessed by a natural beauty, the Sussex coastline has also been shaped by maverick individuals. Think Eastbourne, think Cavendish. And at nearby Bexhill-on-Sea, the seafront is dominated by this magnificent modernist pavilion, commissioned by its charismatic mayor, Edward de Loire, in 1935, which has been influencing seaside architecture ever since. But recessions and foreign holidays hit these places hard, and it's taking a whole new breed of impresario to help put some of them back on their feet. From Shoreham, I'm off to see one now, a 21st century visionary who's breathing new life into the somewhat faded glory of Littlehampton.
I've arranged to meet a woman who's on a mission that's very close to my heart. She's trying to use good architecture and design to rejuvenate an area some might say has seen better days. Now, the only issue is that she told me to meet her by this bench, but it's a very, very long bench.
In fact, at 324 metres, it's the longest and maybe oddest bench in Britain. And it's all part of local resident Jane Wood's efforts to put some sparkle back into this delightful little resort.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Very well, thank you. How are you?
I found you at last.
Yes, nice.
It's a very nice bench.
Yes. Do you like it?
Yeah, it's lovely. What's this bit at the end? Should we have a look at
This is the shelter.
So it's sort of open and then it's a bit more
Yes.
covered over here,
Yes.
is it?
Bookended by 2 beautiful latticed shelters, the whole meandering structure is made from recycled wood.
So tell me about your very big bench.
My daughter and I actually came up with the idea together that if we built a bench the length of the promenade, it would be a tourist attraction. It would bring people here.
But you're very passionate about the role that good design and good architecture can play in regeneration.
Absolutely.
And where does that come from?
Well, we regenerate towns, we regenerate cities. Why should we not regenerate the seaside?
But Jane's big bench is only a small part of her plan to put Littlehampton on the map. Along the beach is something even more extraordinary. Made from rippling folds of weathering steel, its artfully oxidising facade with hints of far distant sand dunes gives little clue as to its function. In fact, it's a seafront cafe. Unhappy about plans to extend a seafront fish and chip shop, Jane bought the plot and commissioned something special.
When you first saw these incredible shapes in those initial sketches, what were your thoughts?
I loved it.
What did you
I
like
loved
about it?
I think it was just the most exciting thing I'd seen for a long time.
What did people outside of the project think when they saw the proposals? Because surely getting planning for something like this in a site like this is not that straightforward.
I didn't have any objections at all.
And you had no objections to this?
No, I didn't.
Good. That gives me faith in
Yes,
humanity.
doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yes. When it was built, however, it
Oh, right.
it provoked a lot of different reactions.
Really?
Yes.
People didn't like it?
A lot of people didn't like it, a lot of people love it. But I really see this building as a piece of sculpture. It's not architecture.
Well, can we go and look inside?
Absolutely,
I want to
yes.
try a cup of your
Come on,
coffee
get.
as well, I suspect.
As stylish inside as it is uncompromising outside, Jane's Cafe offers an alternative to the cheap and cheerful chippy, synonymous with the British seaside.
That is local place.
From there.
Right from there.
Well, that's helpful, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Although not everyone's found the building easy to swallow, Jane's convinced both it and the bench are drawing punters back.
And how do you think it's affected the local economy and people's perception of this area?
Well, a lot of people come here who didn't come before, and we're offering something that wasn't on offer in Littlehampton before this building came, in the hope that it will attract a more diverse kind of tourist. And it has.
Jane certainly put some verve back into Littlehampton, and that deserves a toast with a glass of local fizz.
Very nice. Well, I mean, it's a lovely building. There's no question
Thank you
about
for
that.
coming.
And spending time with Jane has whetted my appetite in more ways than one. On the next leg of my trip, I'll be drawing up designs of an extraordinary seafront building of my own.
If for a moment you imagine that you could convert a little cluster of these buildings into a house, I think it would make the most incredible place to live.
And I'll be meeting the hat maker who's sitting pretty in a unique historical gem.
That's a very brave wall. It's galvanised metal, isn't it?
I'm on the last leg of my Sussex coastal tour. Heading to a seaside town forever linked with Britain's colourful past, Hastings. It's a place where history comes alive, both in the town and on its wonderful seafront, where centuries of life and commerce spill out onto its shingled shore.
I love this bit of our coast. It's around Hastings Old Town, and it's this fascinating kind of industrial fishing Mad Max landscape with lots of old boats and tractors. And these are some of my favourite buildings anywhere in Britain, and they are the net shops. When they were built, the sea was much closer to these cliffs, so there was a very little amount of land to be shared between lots of fishermen. So each fisherman got given a very little plot, and the only way they could store all of their gear and keep it dry was to build up. So you get this wonderful collection of very tall sheds, this lovely tarred weatherboard, lovely textures and patterns against the textures and curves of the boat. Now, quite rightly, these sheds are heavily protected, but if for a moment you imagine that you could convert a little cluster of these buildings into a house, I think it would make the most incredible place to live.
Keeping their stretched, century box profiles intact, I'd start by connecting this group of four together with a series of almost gossamer-like glazed links.
So you can imagine you make this first one here into basically an access tower, and then this little cluster of three, you'd connect them all with these just set back, very lightweight stainless steel and glass bits that would create this kind of fascinating floor plan.
At the base would be a few slender windows, picking up on the rhythm of the existing wood cladding. Bedrooms and a bathroom would be down here, while above the glass connection, windows get bigger to enable elongated views across the channel.
So all of the openings would be in a very similar language to the lovely doors and windows that are currently there. So it would be a series of shutters that would kind of open back to create huge sheets of glass behind. So it would sort of unfold and open up like a beautiful sort of box. Almost like a kind of a jewelry box to expose these wonderful glassy sheets.
Under those delightful pitched gables would be the main part of the house. A master bedroom, galley kitchen, and a sitting room looking out to sea. In elevation, it would be this fantastic little collection of towers, each with its own personality, but newly linked to create one incredible, quirky whole.
And I think you could transform this set of buildings into a home without compromising them and their beauty, but just get a fascinating little bolt hole which to come down and explore this wonderful part of our coast and to make the most of the old town of Hastings.
challenge here would be making the changes so subtle you barely notice. For the last house on my Sussex journey, I'm heading a short hop west along the coast to St Leonards, a place which inspired another travelling architect to make his mark. Art Deco masterpieces jostle with equally grand Victorian apartments for a view of the sea here, but it's in the vast Regency terraces built by visionary architect James Burton, the man behind swathes of central London, where the heart of St Leonards lies. Developed as the first Regency new town by Burton, hatmaker Caroline Morris owns a unique part of his South Coast legacy.
What first attracted you down here to St Leonards?
The unique architecture. I'm quite passionate about architecture. The 1830s feel everywhere, and I draw and paint quite a bit, so it's also quite special to have this on my doorstep.
Your muse.
Yes, yes, my inspiration. I mean, the colours are so gorgeous as well.
Shall we go and see your house?
Yes, absolutely.
A short walk away is Caroline's other muse, her home. And it's here where her passion for art, architecture and seaside living all combine.
Oh, this is nice and tucked away, isn't it?
It is, it's just magical. It's so quiet and peaceful here.
Once the joinery workshop for James Burton's building empire, it's now a stylish home, still happy to embrace its bold industrial roots.
That's a very brave wall. It's galvanised metal, isn't it?
It's galvanised steel.
An entire galvanised steel
Yes,
wall.
with rivets. I absolutely love it. But I was very scared about having it done. I couldn't quite visualise it, and I thought I've got to be brave
Have a go.
and
Jump in with both feet.
Yes.
It's a big decision.
Light, spacious and airy, this former hive of artisan creativity is now an oasis of calm.
It's quite sparse in here, isn't it? That's on purpose?
That's the look I wanted to achieve because of the nature of the building being semi-industrial. I wanted clean lines and quite contemporary. You have to go with the flow of the building, really. You can't fight it. You just have to accept that it's big and chunky and masculine, and you've just got to work around that.
Exposed brickwork, stripped floors and the huge windows installed to allow Burton's craftsmen maximum light create the look of an exclusive Manhattan loft.
I think I've got a bit of door envy. They're beautifully elegant. Those
Thank you.
lovely tall proportion to them.
They're perfect. They really divide the kitchen and the living space.
And emphasise the height of the room, because these are so big, and then you've got a normal sized door next to it. It's kind of like little and large.
A little bit of a contrast.
Originally a workshop and later a church hall, the building was converted into a home around 15 years ago.
It's a lovely grand staircase, isn't it?
It's beautiful.
Beautiful wood on the treads, isn't it?
I believe it's Burmese teak.
Wow.
Really is lovely. It's got a
It's
beautiful
amazing,
yellow
isn't
colour.
it?
Upstairs there's comfortable space for 4 bedrooms. Including Caroline's handmade circular bed.
It's brilliant. I've never thought of that, and it really fits the room brilliantly. I mean, it makes what would be an awkward room, because those kind of cuts on a room can be really problematic. It just makes the most of it. Nice little corridors as well. It's a nice contrast to the big grand open space downstairs.
Yes, it is.
It's little windings. It's much more domestic. And so this is where you make your hats, the millinery magic hats.
Yes, I do a lot of work up here. It's nice and peaceful and tranquil.
Nearly 200 years since it was first used by craftsmen, the artisan integrity of this building remains intact.
It's really nice that, in a way, the house has kind of come full circle from being a workshop originally to being, again, sort of partly a workshop.
Yes, exactly. And I teach downstairs in my living room. I have all the hat blocks there. So having all the wooden forms there, I have a nice connection with the Burton architects, I feel, in this building.
I think it's a wonderful house. There's this tension, but this wonderful tension between a very feminine side and a very masculine side. And I really like that push and pull. I think you've hit the nail on the head with that.
Oh, good, good. Well, I absolutely love it. I'm really thrilled with this house.
Finding the connections like Caroline's, which link this fabulous coastline to its majestic past, has been one of the real treats of my journey around this Sussex shore. Its grand natural vistas have inspired architects to great vision, and it's wonderful to see that tradition of ambitious building still alive and well.
The Sussex coast is a fascinating part of our shoreline. It's close to London, it has these amazing old resort towns, natural beauty, and one of the best climates anywhere in Britain. But it's always had a feeling of slight faded Regency glory, but no longer. This part of the country is on the up, and you can see why.
Next week I'm in Anglesey, where new houses masquerade as centuries-old coastal manors. Working lighthouses double as gleaming white homes, and contemporary properties command the most spectacular views.
To walk through that door and to have that,
It's magical.